Where has your philosophy education been most impactful in your writing career development?
It's taught me to be diligent about things I talk about. When you're a writer and you want to express yourself, the first instinct is to say whatever sounds good or whatever looks good on the page without really necessarily thinking about what it means. When you have philosophy training, you're always thinking about the repercussions of whatever you say. So as a nonfiction writer, it's always taught me to not make conclusions without having them supported by the premises that come before them. Yeah. So a lot of people will go ahead and like make wild conclusions, but not go out of their way to support them. And that's fine if you want to be a firebrand and you want to stir people up, but if you want to be impactful and you want to make an argument about something, you have to make sure that you back it up. So as a person with a philosophical background, I have that toolbox where I can figure out a way to state my whatever I'm trying to say, state my thesis of a and it can be a completely ludicrous thing,
right?
But I can do it in a way that's it's very compelling, and that then that you can basically prove. But as long as it's the idea that you have to back yourself up. And not just in a journalistic way that you want to make sure everything is accurate and you're checking your sources, which is of course very, very important when you're writing nonfiction. Yeah. But also in a larger sense, when you're trying to make a point. If you're trying to make a point, sometimes you're just conveying information and telling a story. But if you're trying to make a point, if you're trying to say something of any sort of value, yeah, then you have to make sure that you have all of your little ducks, your logical ducks in a row. And if you don't do that, then whatever you're saying will be weak. And if you want people to take it seriously and you want to make any sort of impact, then having your arguments nice and ironclad as possible definitely gives your argument more weight and gives what you're saying more weight. Now, that said, it doesn't have to sound like you're writing like René Descartes or Aristotle. But just making sure that you've backed yourself up, you can still, be as creative or fun or as lively as you want as a writer. But you can also be, philosophically diligent as well. I don't think those two things are necessarily mutually exclusive.